Hey guys, Dr. Joe Borio calling you today here on our Facebook Live. Had a great morning this morning and had the opportunity to have a lot of one-on-ones this morning with a lot of docs talking about better ways to educate and communicate. And we just did a webinar, did a live webinar. We were honored to have Dr. Dan Sullivan in as a guest speaker to our group. And Dr. Dan is just awesome and, brings a certain level of passion, but certainly clarity and certainty in science. Just love that. But I wanted to, ask you guys a question today, and that's, where will your practice be at the same place or worse, next year? Is it going to be at the same place? Is it going to be even worse? Do you get frustrated where you're bringing in a certain number of people, new people, every month or every week? Doesn't it surprise you? Doesn't it frustrate you that you're bringing in, let's say, a certain number of new people, and yet your practice services stay the same? Doesn't that frustrate you? So hey, listen, I'm out there and I brought in 10 new people this month or 10 new people this week or whatever that number may be, and guess what? At the end of the year or the end of the month, hey, my practice is the same. It hasn't grown at all. Or over the year, you know what? My practice, I'm basically reproducing, if you will, the same practice every year, and things aren't changing. My fun, my enthusiasm, maybe is waning. Maybe I'm getting apathetic. Maybe I'm getting frustrated. That's a big challenge that I see in the profession in a lot of offices. And then finances. A lot of times finances are a challenge for docs. So, maybe we're buying things and we have some nice things, but we don't have any money saved. We don't have any equity. We don't have any wealth or abundance that we've created, in our life. And that's a challenge in the profession as well. So, the question is, where's your practice going to be and where are you going to be? And if you're living in the place where, wow, you know what? That's a great question, Dr. Joe. I don't know that it's going to be any better. I don't know that it's going to be any different. I don't see any big changes that are going to potentially happen. Then the reality is, if we're going to continue to do the same thing every year because that's what we know, and listen, I'm not here to knock anybody. Maybe that's where you feel most comfortable. Doing something different maybe is really uncomfortable for you, and maybe implementing some new things. And then, hey, listen, geez, if I do this or I'm going to try that, oh my God, it's like overload and there's all these new ways to do things. And maybe that's scary, and that's certainly not how I bring coaching. That's certainly not what we do. But, if that's what you're thinking is, the reality is you have to add some new things. You have to learn some new skills in order to do something different. An analogy I always use is, if you had to dig a ditch or a hole, let's say a ditch, and you get paid by the number of ditches that you dig of a certain size, the only way that you can make more money for your family, the only way you can dig more ditches, right, is to work harder. So you have to work harder within an 8-hour window or a 10-hour window of a day in order to dig more ditches, right? And all of a sudden you're like, wow, you know what? Geez, I start calculating, I could make a lot more money. I could do a lot more. I could dig a lot more ditches if I work harder. But all of a sudden you're working harder and harder. You can't sustain it. You're not going to have fun. You're going to hate digging the ditches. It's a lot of work. Your body's going to break down. Your emotional status is going to break down. Why? Because you're not learning anything new. You know what you know. You're really good at it. However, what you know is not going to allow you to expand or grow beyond where you're at right now. All of a sudden, some neighbor comes by, or a tractor sales individual comes by and says, hey, man, I got a backhoe. And all of a sudden you're going to look at that backhoe and you go, holy shit, look at that thing. That's awesome. So now this guy can sit, or this woman can sit in the backhoe without building up a sweat, without breaking their body down, without killing themselves. And they can dig ditch after ditch after ditch after ditch all day long. And they can dig 1,000 times more. They can be 1,000 times more productive. Not because they're better, not because they're smarter, not because they're not willing to work hard, not because they're not honest, not because they're not passionate, which I think a lot of times comes into play when you're working with docs. The reality is they have some knowledge that you don't have. They have a different skill set that you don't have. And boy, if you can implement that new skill set, what happens is you're able to reproduce what they do. And maybe you don't want to dig 1,000 ditches. But wouldn't it be great to maybe double or triple where you're at? Wouldn't it be great to be able to have a really nice balance in your life to where you could spend time with your family? You can love up your significant other and your children and have weekends with your family, and then also, work hard, go to the office, work hard, and serve people with chiropractic care and make a difference. Isn't it right? Isn't it the right way to say, hey, listen, I deserve to be paid fairly for that, and I deserve, if I'm doing a good job, I'm putting the interest of those people I care for. Shouldn't I live an abundant life to take care of other people and care for other people and tend after their health and their needs so that I can tend after my health and my needs? That to me just makes sense. I don't think that's asking for anything. And listen, I got my wall of mentors right here. I've got people that have influenced me either directly, where I've had a beautiful physical relationship with them, where I've known them personally, or they're people I have their books and I've read because they passed away before I was around, or you can bet I would have jumped on a car, on a plane, and driven out to Davenport, Iowa, and hung out with BJ and such, right? But knowing them and having the ability and the blessing to have the influence by these men and women in my life have made a tremendous difference for me, to serve people, to have a wonderful, highly successful practice that I still have the pleasure to go to every week. And I've got this skill set, this backhoe, using that as the analogy, that I want to share with the profession. I want to share with you. So listen, if you're thinking, wow, you know what? My practice is going to be the same unless I do something different or get worse, or I'm tired of working my ass off and just getting the same result. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be other ways to do this where I can have more fun and serve more people. Boy, I'll tell you, I'd love to have you reach out to me. So we got an event coming up in Austin. That's going to be in Austin, Texas. It's going to be November 8th and 9th. You first-time attendee, we're going to have C credits there as well, and your first-time attendee is $199. That's for you. If you got 6 associate docs, I don't care, and you've got your CAs, come, at least you get a chance to spend some time with some great docs that are focused on what it is we do and how we can make an impact in the profession. Hey, if you're looking for a coach, you want to learn more about what we do, I've got a free coaching call link right over here above my head. Click that. It'll send me an invite, and then you and I can connect on a half-hour call. Tell me what's going on. I'd love to hear about why you're a chiropractor, what's going good, what isn't going good. Maybe everything's going good, but you know what? You want to be doing better. You feel like there's a bigger purpose or a higher calling for you. Love to have that conversation with you, certainly as well. Hey, if you're ready to go, you can go right to my website, chiropassionconsulting.com, and I've got a couple of levels of coaching program, some that maybe fit your budget a little better, maybe some fit your accountability level a little bit better, and we'd love to have you, be part of the group. We've got a lot of docs from all over the world, literally from Australia to England to Peru to Canada, the United States, and so forth, and we'd love to have you part of that group. And in closing, like we were talking about on our call today, one of the worst things you can do is practice where you're on an island. I see too many docs, we kind of close it down. We go to 1 or 2 events, try to pick up a few things, get a little spiz, and then we come back, and you're not in a relationship with other docs that are going to lift you up. So even though you got passion and clarity and certainty and strategy and the recipe, if you will, you're lacking that support structure. And being part of this group that we've created here in Chiropassion really offers you a strong foundation and gives you that support structure that you need in order to grow. A place to go, hey, things went good, great, let's make them better. A place where you can offer what's going good with other docs. Hey, things aren't going so great, listen, reach out to your coach, reach out to the 100 other docs, and hey, let's have a conversation with them about what we could do to make things better, different things you can add to your office to make them better, different areas to work on to make your life better, to make your practice better, to have more fun, to have a bigger impact while you're here serving as chiropractor. So, hey guys, I love and appreciate you guys for loving what I love. Thanks for tuning in to my Facebook Live today. Share it, like it. If you see some other docs, maybe it's not directly associated with you. Maybe you're one of our clients. Share the video to somebody else to help somebody else, maybe to another group, so that maybe they can learn a little bit more and see a little bit more about what's possible rather than just repeating where you're at or living in fear, thinking well, next year is going to be the same or even worse. I don't want that for you, and I don't want that for the profession. So hit the link, see you in Austin, get a free coach call, join the program, whatever I can do, reach out to me on Facebook. Love to be part of your journey in chiropractic, guys.